Hey, welcome to the Melancholy Guy, a companion podcast to my Tumblr blog, The Melancholy Guy, daring to be black, open, and free. The adventures of a divorced, open, polyamorous African American male. I am the Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And definitely today, I believe that change I must or die I will. Hey, welcome to the 14th episode of The Melancholy Guy, a companion podcast to my Tumblr blog that can be found at themelancholyguy.tumblr.com. That's melancholyguy.tumblr.com. And basically, this podcast is about my adventures coming from the world of monogamy into non-monogamy and all of the changes that I went through, the drama that I went through, what I learned looking back on what I wrote going through that time. And it's interesting to look back at that time. I think it's a good exercise for me and hopefully someone who's listening, who's thinking about taking this journey can just look and listen to some of the mistakes I made. The past 7 years ago, I wrote it, is there. I can't change it, but I'm also adding to the blog as I go on from here. I'm not the same person I was, thank God, and I will not be the same person tomorrow, and I will continue this journey and continue to share it with myself or with anyone that listens and reads the blog, basically. So let me pick up at the blog now. Basically, the show is broken down into 3 segments. Oh, and right now the show is a mini show. It's only like 15 minutes until I get the to get my change up to be able to record, have more time to record. So basically, the show will be about 30-45 minutes. Probably will go down to once a week. Right now I'm doing it like 2 times a week. I was doing it 3, but my brother got hired back on to his gig again, and so time is split between getting that money and spending that money and investing that money into this podcast and the future podcast studio, DMV Podcaster Studios. So anyway, we're going to go into blog, my life, and then podcasting, or the vision for the future of podcasting in my life and in the studio for the DMV area. So last week we left off, I think I had read a couple blog entries that I was basically explaining how I started dating while I was married, and I basically went on one date with someone that I met on OkCupid, and how that was my first mistake. My first mistake was not the date, although that was a mistake. I really wasn't ready to date, and I really wasn't attracted to this person that I went to a date on. It wasn't the best date. It wasn't the best experience. Our backgrounds were completely different. The only thing that we had in common was polyamory, and that you will see if you get involved in the polyamory world, especially in social media. You'll see that there's a lot of dating involved around just being polyamorous. It's not about similarities of life and lifestyle. It's about we're polyamorous, you're polyamorous. You live close by, I live close by. Let's go on a date. See what's up. Sometimes it works, but most times not. And for me, definitely not. I'm just not a dater. I'm gonna give that up. So yeah. So anyway, I think I want to talk about NRE. I think I broached that subject last week. How NRE was a big deal for me, especially when we first started. Now, remember that I stated that I was more apt, or I was looking for emotional intimacy, not just sexual intimacy. So that was my focus. That was my approach, and how I was going to do that, or how I thought I was going to do that, was jump on the sites. Okay, keep it. I said all this, and just try to find someone to date, which is what I normally did when I was monogamous, and I broke up and I wanted to find someone new. I jumped on the thing, and then I broached something. A subject that I brought up was new NRE. I introduced a new term, NRE. New relationship energy is something that we all know about in the non-monogamous polyamorous community. New relationship energy, and I want to just read the definition as is from Wikipedia. New relationship energy is a state of mind experienced at the beginning of most significant sexual and romantic relationships, typically involving heightened emotional and sexual feelings and excitement. It usually begins with the earliest attractions, may grow into full force when mutuality is established, and often slowly fades over months to years. Now, I think I've read this definition in various places many times before, and I think one thing that I missed was may grow into full force when mutuality is established. Now, I discovered that I basically was an NRE junkie. Basically, I wanted that energy, searched for that energy, longed for it, and didn't know what to do when it was gone. So the easiest way for me to get that energy is to date, search, seek and destroy, find women that I can connect with, establish a mutuality with. We fall in love. That's something I do always want to and do very quickly. Fall in love. Boom. We're an NRE. We're bouncing off the energy, feeding off each other, and we're excited. The only thing is, we didn't actually build a relationship. We basically went from 0 to 100, and until the bottom falls out when we find out who we really are, and that's how it's mostly been. And see, I'm here's one of my looking back, hindsight's 2020. Why I was pretty much devastated after my last breakup, because up until her, I've had a lot of relationships that I experienced some NRE with, but I didn't experience it as strongly as I did with her. And I hadn't really felt that much NRE with someone since my ex wife. And I went in head first. Now, the way we got to that point was me not being completely honest about who I was and what I was going through or where I was at in my life. I'll admit that. So that just because we had so much in common, it was unbelievable that we were both geeks and all this type of stuff, and had so many character traits that were in common that we could feed off each other. And it was great. And it was like, this is where I want to stay. I haven't felt this in so long that I wanted it, and I didn't divulge who I was. So when it came out and the relationship just dropped, I was in full withdrawal from NRE. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't come back. I went from walking in the clouds to walking in hell, and it took me a long time to get out of that. And I see why it happened. I allowed it to happen. I put that needle in my arm, took that hit, you know what I mean, and thought I could just keep it coming, you know what I mean. And then when it was gone, I crashed. Now, in that, we were in love. There was love. But I really thought this was going to be the love that would last forever. Well, there was no proof. There was nothing there. There's no substance really there. This was a 6 month relationship. Most of that was long distance. You see what I'm saying? So it's a good exercise for me just to see where I was. And I read that blog post last week about seeing the girl in the bar, and we had that mutual attraction. That word, mutual attraction, and that mutual. I will take that mutual attraction and run with it, and that's what I always do. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm seeing that for me, I gotta let that go. I need to just let that ride out, and I'm gonna leave it right there for now because we're down to 5 minutes. So I just want to say right now, in my remaining 3 minutes or so, I'm gonna pick this up next time because this is important before I move on into where I went from there into swinging, because swinging is another lifestyle. There is, and why it didn't work for me was that there was no NRE. It wasn't there. There was a sexual attraction, which is different from NRE. It doesn't grow. But I'll talk about that more. Anyway, so life is good right now. 3 minutes and 19 seconds left. It's the 22nd of December. Christmas is in 3 days. I'm great to be alive. I'm great to be employed. Great to be working. Looking forward to my first check, money, and looking forward to being able to grow this endeavor that I've taken on. Shout out to Spreaker.com. That's where I house my podcast. I also post them on SoundCloud. I post a video on YouTube. All the information is everywhere when I post a video. I'm mostly on Instagram. Holla at me. I'm gonna talk about more. I'm gonna do another podcast before Christmas. But 2 words about my life going forward, or for 2018: a purpose and discipline. And that's the blog post I'm working on. I haven't posted probably in a couple weeks because I started working, because I'm really just thinking about this year, what I was chasing, what I was doing, and what I was lacking. And 2 things that I think I've been lacking in my life for a long time are purpose and discipline. And those are 2 important words for me going forward. So with that, look for some changes in the studio coming up soon. I'm happy about that. And hopefully we can add another show to the roster. I'm working on that too. But this is great. If you listen, thank you. If you don't, thank you. This has been great for me just to go back and examine. If I say, if you're thinking about, trying non-monogamy or any of that, just think about it. Go slow. Research. Make sure that you know what you want, and that you're actually built for it. Because it's not easy. It's a lifestyle or a paradigm, a relationship paradigm that you really must be ready for. And I think a lot of people don't take time for that. So thank you for the music, bensound.com, the music. And that's it. I'm out. Always remember to love yourself. Always remember to respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste, man. I'll see y'all in a couple days. If you don't hear from me, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Winter Solstice. Peace and love to everyone.